Being the controller of a railway like the Northwestern is not an easy task, and it certainly takes a great deal of patience, charisma, and integrity. The role of the Fat Controller has changed over the years, and Sir Stephen Hatt knew that the end of his term was drawing near, and that the time was of the essence to prime his successor. Richard Hatt, of course, was still learning the ropes before the transition would take place. His idealistic and optimistic approach was indeed admirable, if not nothing quite like anything the railway had ever seen before.
You do make a nice podium, Duck.
Oh, I thought we were keeping it fresh. Now this is just a throwback.
Oh, thanks, Larry.
You're welcome, Rich.
Hello, everyone. As you know, if anyone here had a suggestion for the railway, I've asked you to have your drivers or firemen jot them down and place them in this box.
Richard, if I may, I commend the idea of allowing feedback, I really do. But frankly, I think you could have just asked for some of my opinions, instead of having to drag everyone else into this. Plus, this isn't really something any of the other Fat Controllers have done before. Eat a steak!
Thank you, Gordon, but everyone's voice must be heard. And I'm not my father, so I thought this would be a good way to bring some fresh ideas into the mix. Here's the first suggestion. Permanent Knapford station pilot.
Love it!
Who's that guy?
Not Dennis.
Excuse me?
Not Dennis. Anyone but Dennis. He has been late on 6 occasions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 occasions, and acts like he hasn't a clue why he's there. We need a competent, constant, and conscientious pilot that isn't idle, isn't Dennis, has a clue, knows his place, and isn't Dennis.
What? Oh, sorry, I just kinda zoned out a little bit back there. Who doesn't have a clue?
Guys, I could totally take that on. Stafford and I have been dealing with nonsense in the shunning yard like Henry ought to deal with his chronic pantophobia, and also how this railway ought to deal with the crimes against the British loading gauge in the recent years.
Oh, come on now.
Zing! Roasted. Thank you. You are a lovely audience.
Enough with the loading gauge jokes, Charlie.
But seriously, folks, all jokes aside, I could totally nab that pilot job. Am I right or am I right?
Well, if those are our only options, I'd have to say you're right.
Arthur, don't encourage him.
Perhaps we can continue to have the tank engines shunt the coaches in rotation for the bigger engines. Although there hasn't been a permanent pilot, I can see what Dad thinks.
I could be the station pilot.
Moving on. Ban Auld Lang Syne from being sung at any social event.
Oh, I can get behind that one.
That would be a godsend.
I might have to agree with that. Well, as long as it's in tune.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful the Caledonians weren't around for that one. Lift the ban of Auld Lang Syne. I stand corrected. I guess word gets around fast. How did they submit this, though? They were still in the works. Next up, rename the Little Western to Oliver's Branch Line.
And I wonder who came up with that one.
Okay, next one. Board up Misty Island Tunnel, already done. Create a Croven's Gate Works Netflix account.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Marvelous notion.
Yes!
Booyah! Preach!
No, seriously.
Oh, yeah! I really gotta catch up on Downton Abbey. Is that on Netflix?
Wow. Is there really that much demand for this?
Repairs can take months sometimes. It would make things a lot less dull.
Overhauls are a drag. Plus, Kevin's slapstick can get a little bit repetitive. He needs to work on his act.
Charlie, Kevin's not putting on an act. He's actually that bad at his job.
Whoa, that's actually hilarious. Effortless use of irony. The guy's good, really good. Great comedic material. It's gonna be hard to top that.
Charlie, you're a comedian, not an artist.
Who says they're different things?
Whoa.
All right. Mind blown. We get it. More recycling options on Sodor. Oh, that's actually a good one.
Right on. I made that suggestion.
I like that idea, Whiffle, buddy.
It's a great suggestion, Whiff. I'll be sure to look into that. Now the next one...
Well, aren't you going to read the last one?
Oh, come on now, everyone. This is not what this was for. I can't read this.
You have to read them all, sir. Aren't these contributions from your railway's finest? Everyone's voice must be heard.
Gordon is a galloping sausage. All right, moving on.
Oh, Doc! I say!
Oh, come on now.
Well, someone wrote it.
Oh, I'm so done with this. Some engines need to grow up.
Now that is a classic Sunday dinner roast. I only wish I'd come up with it myself. Genius. Comic gold. Major props. You guys are the artisans of comedy. Artisans!
I'm a little disappointed. This wasn't even a suggestion.
You're supposed to be the mediator. Then mediate, sir. This was a horrible idea, sir. Next time, if you want a decent suggestion, I suggest you consult me personally.
The engines all went back to work, carrying mixed feelings with them. Although the suggestion box clearly had not produced the best results, the truth of the matter is you can't please everyone, and sometimes an earnest attempt can easily go awry. However, with a little courage and a little chutzpah, and when you find the nerve to put yourself out there may be a silver lining that makes it all worthwhile in the end.
Hey, Whiff, wait. Let's talk about those recycling options. I think you're onto something great.
Ah, Richard.
Hey, Dad. I'm a little tired. The new suggestion box idea didn't really work out, and now I'm behind on the packet. So if you could please...
You made a suggestion box? Well, that should have gone over well. I remember 5 years ago when I announced the extension project, and as soon as one started complaining, the rest were at each other's funnels and radiators in minutes.
Well, perhaps it did work, in a way. Whiff and I may look into having more recycling options on Sodor. However, most of the submissions were very contrived and rarely constructive.
There are people who will be able to help you with that, but let this be a lesson that the anonymity of submissions empowers many to be ignorant. Is this the box?
Yeah, Dad, it is.
There's still one left.
Oh, I must have missed it after the galloping sausage comment put everyone in uproar.
Well, what did I tell you?
Come on, Dad, just read it.
Using the supplies and resources from the Little Western Extension Project, build a branch line from Arlesborough Harbor to Harwick. Throw in a new passenger service, and goods if you must, and you have yourself something delightful, delicious, and lovely. And while you're at it, plant something yellow at Elsbridge. Needs a little more color. This thought has echoed in my mind before. Perhaps this is a way I can redeem myself. I'm going to burn this suggestion box and pretend this was my idea.
No, Dad! That was my favorite box. Who on this railway would have the audacity and unbridled sass to ask for a new branch line and quote Ella Fitzgerald in the same sentence? Is this mascara?
I can't believe it, but I should have known I would have gotten snubbed. I have great ideas, but I simply don't have the time to voice them. I have to run Thomas's branch line for him, while he's off helping on Edward's branch line or doing God knows what on another adventure. Oh, to have my voice mean something. Hey, you!
Me?
Yeah, you. You taking the train to Farquhar?
I sure am. Will I be riding with you?
No. Not in that vest, you're not. Invest in some sleeves and catch the 9 o'clock. You see, that's what feedback is meant to be. Honest, and to lend itself to actual improvement. This railway isn't going to improve unless we acknowledge what's really happening. And that'll only happen if I have anything to say about it.